Now I'm going to speak about how we could learn in some way to heal ourselves. I want to begin with no thought is worth thinking about. Because when you think about it, that means you're perseverating. So what I try to do with cancer patients, but we all should do it, is become a witness of our insanity. That is, become a witness of your thoughts. Become aware that you're thinking about the same thing over and over. Become aware that you're thinking about the future that doesn't exist, or you're thinking about the past that doesn't exist. So what do? You just witness what's going on in your head. And what's very interesting, two thoughts cannot occupy the same space. So if I keep repeating a thought over and over for about 10 seconds, I'll knock out that thought. It works, I promise you. The one mistake you can make is trying to remember what you forgot. When that happens, you're searching so hard through your brain that I've done this and I felt insane for the day. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Do not try to think about what you forgot. Good. Okay. Next. It's almost like thinking about where do I leave my key. As soon as you start really thinking about it, you're never going to find it. But anyway, let's get over that. The next thing, so I do that. I tell patients to do that. I tell myself to do that. I have cancer. I've had cancer for 20 years. I had failed radiation. It wasn't the radiologist that failed me. I signed up for a research study, and my arm of the research failed. Everyone who signed up for that, their cancer wasn't cured. I don't resent that because I experimented with people years ago and I felt it was right to do. So there's no anger or anything. And I've had cancer for almost 20 years, off and on, that's been treated. And more recently, it's a little harder to treat. When I start thinking, am I going to see someone's wedding? Am I going to see this or that? I'm killing myself because it doesn't exist. So I've learned to cancel those thoughts so much I don't even think about them. Every now and then, if I get into a fear state, I found something else that works for me. One day I realized, because I wrote this in a book on pregnancy, that the newborn is love made visible. And I believe that in my heart. So I say to myself, I'm love made visible. And it really takes away some of my negative thoughts. And I also realized that day, if I'm love made visible, so's everyone else. And that pissed me off a little, but it's true, it's true. But I recognize that right away. I'm very quick, very quick. Anyhow, but I use that. You also could clap your hands, and that sound takes you out of yourself. So the first thing is to cleanse your mind of the past, the future, and negativity. It's so very important. The next thing you do, and it sounds crazy, and I'm going to skip backwards. I have been blessed to observe curanderos and brujos in Mexico and in Guatemala. They knew things about me that no one knew. One guy simply did it by breaking an egg and putting it in alcohol and looking at the bubbles that are coming up from the egg. He told me how many children I have, what I have to work on in my own life that has been difficult, that will allow me to be even more successful. How did they know this? How did natives know about aspirin, getting that from a tree? Aspirin is the greatest chemical we've ever come up with. It could lower blood pressure. It could treat diabetes. It's anti-inflammatory. It might even have a cancericidal effect. Aspirin, how do they know that? How do How did the curanderos know about drugs, psychedelics? How did they know about medicine? Because they don't see themselves as being different from nature. Therefore, they could speak to nature. We have to learn how to grasp something in our hand and know if that's healing for us or not. We have to pay more attention to what works for us, not what we read. We have to eat food that resonates with us, not what other people tell us. We have to realize that all of life is conscious.